Welcome to the Class of the Little Sass podcast. I'm your host, Carrie Millspaw, best-selling author and award-winning motivational speaker with over 20 years in the personal development industry. I believe that the more you know, the more you grow. With each podcast episode, I will educate and empower you, girlfriend to girlfriend style, on how to create a happy life, from motherhood guidance, career and business advice, to feeling confident in your relationships and everything in between. This is Real Talk Radio. Let's jump right into today's episode. Hey friends, hope you're doing great today. How are my favorite peeps? Today we're going to talk about coping mechanisms for empaths. And if you're not even sure if you are one or not, I highly recommend you go back a few episodes and listen to the episode labeled, Am I an Empath or is that just a myth? And in fact, I think I'll put a link in the show notes for you just to make it a little easier. So you can go back and listen to that if you'd like. But before we jump into today's episode, I'm going to put a little disclosure or disclaimer in there. I live not too far from the Air Force here in Las Vegas, Nellis Air Force Base. And I don't know if they're doing tricks over my house today or what's going on, but every now and then I got this rumble and the beautiful sound of jets flying over. So isn't that the sound of freedom? Is it just me or does it just give you goosebumps? But so if you hear that in the background, no, the Blue Angels are not performing in my backyard, but it might sound like that. So fully disclaimer. I digress. Back to the episode. So first and foremost, you may have already discovered you're an empath. You may be on the fence. You might know someone who is. I have a brother that's an empath, a father that's an empath. My daughter's pretty sensitive. Her boyfriend's very sensitive as well. I seem to attract, it feels like everyone around me is one, but I think, like attracts like. So it's, to be honest though, it is a rare thing. So don't feel discluded or not included or discluded. If that's a word, look that up. Or did I just make it up? But overall, you're welcome here today, regardless of the content. I'm just happy you're here. Everyone will learn something along the way. So before we get started into coping mechanisms, coping techniques, life hacks, all the fun stuff, I first want to just kind of jump in and go, not all empaths are created equal. So they're not going to all have the same coping mechanisms. And when you're talking about your empathic situation or who you are, and again, keep in mind you're a very, very small percentage on this planet, you may disqualify yourself as an empath because your traits don't match someone you know who's empathic. But there's over 14 different types. And today we're going to go through about 7 of them. Not in depth, but enough. I want to skim over enough for you to start to explore on your own terms and in your own time. Maybe that's me, Carrie. Maybe I need to go a little deeper. I never even thought about that. Because I know my dad has different empathic traits than my brother does, and so on. And I've compared, and there's no two alike. So give yourself some rest assurance. Yeah, just makes us all a little more unique. I know for a fact that my brother actually feels in a physical way people's pain, where I'm more emotional intuitive. So let's kind of dive in a little bit to the different type of empaths that are out there. We're going to briefly go through 7. The 7th one is a little off out there. Just saying. I'm going to put a link in the show notes to the article that I pulled up. I did some research on my own. Found lots of different things. This one was the least woo-woo. I'm just so not a fan of the woo-woo side. God created us. I believe in the energy that we give off as human beings. I believe we're all connected. There's a lot of that going on. God is so amazing in how he created us. So the more I learn about myself, the closer I feel to my creator. And I want to encourage you to do the same thing, but not through the new age lens that has almost ruined the feeling of being an empath. It's almost taken it from us, turned it into other twisted formats, and taken it completely out of context. And next thing you know, people are thinking they're aliens and other things. So that's not the path we're going to go down today, my friend. Okay. Oh, that's cool. You can go down that path on your own terms, but Miss Carrie is not leading you that direction. So, empath type number 1 is the emotional empath. This type of empath feels the emotions of others. This type, according to Mind Body Green, if anyone's a part of that blog, I've done some writing for them, is the most common kind of empath. And this one I for sure 100% can relate to. Maybe you can too. Emotional empaths pick up the emotions of others as well as take on their feelings. They can be a sponge for both positive and negative, unfortunately. And if they can't create boundaries, they may feel like they're in a roller coaster. I have been in that situation more than once. And unfortunately, I didn't know I was an empath before, kind of experiencing such life trauma and not knowing I was just literally making, I was on a roller coaster with my arms up screaming for dear life. But an emotional roller coaster is no fun. And getting super clear, I'm going to go kind of right into the coping mechanism that comes to me with this. As an emotional empath, you need a lot of alone time. Do not ever feel bad about that. Take it, own it, be like, guard that alone time with your life because your life does depend on it. The reason why you need alone time as an emotional empath is you need to decipher what's yours versus others. What's my feelings versus others? Because you'll take on all the energy of those around you. You'll take on their pain. You'll take on their excitement. You'll take on their dreams, their goals, and you'll start to lose you in the process. And I've done this many times. Highly recommend alone time. Alone time is not just going in a room and shutting the door. You're going to need a little more than that because you can even feel the emotions of others in the home. In the mornings, if I hear my daughter getting ready and I don't have to get up that day because she works on the weekends, I feel her anxiety of getting ready for work and rushing out the door, making sure she gets to work on time. Then I can relax a little bit and then go into my slumber, back to my slumber again if it's a Saturday or Sunday and I'm not, living by the alarm clock for once. So that, even though we have a pretty good size home, I can still feel her. If people are visiting me, I feel them in the house. It's not just a matter of hearing them, it's feeling them. So getting alone, even if it's a quick walk around your neighborhood by yourself, that does wonders for me. Just listening to a podcast or listening to my favorite music, a playlist, just getting that alone time is calming. Gosh, girl, I even recommend just take your coffee, go sit in the sunshine, like whatever it is for you that gives you 5 minutes to yourself. So you can go, yes, what am I feeling in my body right now? Is this mine or someone else's? Where did it come from? And then reject it if it's not yours. That is my favorite coping mechanism of all, is a lot of alone time. Even drive time. Drive time counts as alone time. Throw on your favorite praise and worship song or your favorite playlist that really uplifts you. Drive somewhere, even just 15, 20 minutes alone in the car. Get some windshield time. Makes a difference. If you're a busy mom and you've got kids and you've got other things going, make an excuse. I think we're out of milk. Bye. See you. I got to go run to the grocery store quick. That grounding of driving and just being in that calm by yourself. I don't recommend driving in like crazy rush hour traffic. That's not going to help you. But even if it's just 15 minutes, girl, it helps. It will calm you, ground you, get you back to center in 15 minutes or less. You don't have to spend the entire day alone. Some people that's like not possible, Carrie. There's 8 people in my house. I understand, my friend. I understand. The second trait, empathic trait, is a physical empath. The physical empath feels the state of others' bodies. So if someone next to you is feeling ill, if they've got pain in their own body, you might feel it too. I know of some empaths, and again, I attract them like crazy, that have literally felt their own father experience a heart attack, or they'll feel the fibromyalgia. I remember a past client of mine having feeling the pain or the symptoms of fibromyalgia, even though she doesn't technically have it and wasn't diagnosed with it because she sat next to a coworker who had it every day. Not had fibromyalgia every day. You get what I'm saying. She sat next to her every day. So eventually she started to feel the same physical pain. I personally can't quite relate. I mean, if I'm watching someone on TV, yes, I can my heart hurts. I'll feel some pain in my body if I see trauma, but movies that are violent don't really affect me. Um, no more than anybody else. It's not a heightened sense of awareness. I believe my brother does. I think I've heard him say he feels the pain and doesn't like extreme movies that would, show a lot of violence. That sort of thing kind of pushes him away to watching that. Like something extremely violent would probably put him into a panic and create anxiety where who wants that, right? So, is that you? If so, physical pain, I would not recommend being a doctor, a nurse, working with paramedics, being in that trauma all the time. Even as a dentist, if you're working on teeth and the pain or anything, a toothache, you're going to feel the physical pain. I would not recommend that as a choice for your career. I wouldn't jump down that path. So maybe a physical empath also, again, even going to the gym, maybe you'll see or feel things. I can't quite relate again to this one as much. Avoiding traumatic things. Don't watch things that are violent. Stay away from that. Don't get sucked into social media that's violent, or images, things of that nature. Definitely stay away from the medical field. And the good news about being a physical empath too is if you have a child or whatever, you might be able to understand their I want to stay home, I don't feel well, I'm running a fever, I have a tummy ache, mommy, a little bit better, and be able to treat them in some ways too. Again, I still feel like the medical field would be too intense for someone that's got physical empathic traits. But again, a benefit would be being a better parent, maybe, or friend. As long as your caregiving is limited, it could work both ways, but I think it would drain a caregiver long term to constantly be taking care of someone with physical ailments. So take a look at what you do. If that applies to you, where do you feel most drained? Why are you more tired, exhausted, fatigued, so on in your life? And how can you avoid the physical ailments of others? Not that you don't care. Okay, I want to stress that highly. It's not that you don't care, it's that you would need to protect yourself. Again, self love isn't selfish, it's saying, me too. Me too. I need to take care of me too. Okay, just always going to remind you of that. The third empathic, here comes another jet. I can hear it in the background. I just don't know if it's going to get picked up on the microphone or not. Um, the joys of recording from home, wherever, environments around you are going to happen. Intuitive empath is the third one. And an intuitive empath is also referred to maybe as a clairvoyant, if you want to go into that spiritual database of things. But just a glance at someone will offer the intuitive empath information about that person's life, past blockages, habits. They also understand the subtext of a conversation. So this is strongly me, 100%. And when I would do a lot of coaching sessions back to back, I would be so drained by the end of the day because I was leaning in, channeling almost them intuitively, not just listening to the words, but I could feel what they weren't saying. And this comes with, in a lot of relationships of mine too, maybe what my daughter's not saying, my mother, friends, so on, family members. What are they not saying? There's something in the underlying context, the subtext, so to speak, of the conversation. And it can be very draining. I had those long coaching days, I just couldn't do it. I was like, what's wrong with me? You have to peel me off the floor. It's because I'm tapping into them. I can feel the conversation, where it's going, what's really going. And this isn't just my perceptive or lens, or my perception, I should say. This isn't through my lens that I'm seeing things, because a lot of us think we're intuitive, but really you're just looking for things, like because you were taught to watch for your parents' facial expressions because that meant something was coming, or they were stressed out, or I'm going to get punished soon, or they're not happy. That's a different heightened awareness. That's more of a heightened awareness for survival, looking at maybe how an animal in the wild is reacting or acting. So you know whether to run, fight or flight. That's a little different. This is an actual intuitive response where you can almost feel what the person's not saying, if that makes sense. Saying and not saying, or what they mean. I'm not as good through text or email because it's not live and in the moment, but in conversation, I can feel it. So, how do I cope? Well, again, I limited my coaching sessions where my calls were less and less throughout the day. I didn't book myself back to back with calls anymore because I was no good. At the end of the day, I was literally like face plant on the couch, done. Don't even talk to me. A lot of conversations in the day will wear me out. Even, with what I'm doing now, consulting for Microsoft. If I have a lot of meetings, I'm trying to understand multiple people at the same time, what they're trying to say or conversing or how they're acting. I've got a heightened awareness where I'm picking up body language. If we're on camera, I'm picking up their fears. I'm picking up their blockages, the things they're not saying, their stress. And I've noticed, again, at the end of the day, I'm just more fatigued than the days that I have less meetings, and so on, back to back. I have also learned to not, and this is going to sound interesting, because large crowds bother me. And you might be this type of empath too, being around negative people, that sort of thing. And I'll go deeper into that as well as an overall empath coping mechanism. But as an intuitive empath, I do my best not to make eye contact in a crowd. And it seems cold and insensitive. Unless I'm walking into a networking group and I'm there purposely to connect with another, I'm looking to make spiritual connections. That's how I look at it. Like, I just want to connect with another kind soul, someone that's like me maybe, and find that networking buddy. But if I'm not going in to connect and I'm not going in with the intention of I'm the speaker at this event, I need to talk to people and look them in the eye while I'm speaking, which I prefer to do, then I am, if I'm going to the grocery store, I don't need to look everybody in the eye. I don't need to see, so-and-so bachelor guy over to my right, who dressed him today? Has he even showered or did he just come from the gym? I mean, look at how as an empath, we can be so observant, but we go deeper. Our people watching goes deeper than an average people watcher. We might go into, I can, again, speaking for myself and those that are also intuitive empaths, if you let your mind wander into the public of, I'm just going to keep using this fictional character that I've created in my mind, this bachelor, oh, look, he's got nothing but 20 frozen pizzas in his cart. He's so, he's totally single. And he looks like he needs to wash those shorts he's wearing. Like we could go down a rabbit hole. And intuitively, I would go a step further and be like, oh man, this guy's got lots of hurt and trauma or pain, or something just happened in his life. I can feel all of that too. I don't want to just make eye contact with a stranger for no reason because I know I've opened up that Pandora's box, so to speak. And I'm going to start to get distracted. One, I'm not going to get my own grocery shopping done. Two, I'm going to start to carry something that's not mine. And sister friend, that's what this is all about. Learning to not carry what is not yours so you can live a happy, skip through the day kind of life, because you deserve that. You deserve to be carefree. You deserve to have your inner 5-year-old skipping through the household, jumping through life on a hike somewhere, enjoying life, not weighed down by problems that are not yours. Okay. So being an intuitive empath, not letting yourself drift over into a stranger's life for no reason, is a perfect, healthy boundary that you create in your own mind. This has nothing to do with anyone else. You don't even have to set the boundary in writing somewhere or have to speak about it. This is you just saying, keep to yourself, Carrie. Get your eggs, get your bread, get your milk. Gotta get this, gotta get that. I'm in and out. Done. The only person I need to talk to is my cashier and maybe someone bagging my groceries. Hey, how's it going? Hope you're having a great day. Wonderful. Got any coupons? Nope. Okay. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you. That's it. I don't need to take on their life. I don't need to take on their problems. That is not for me. Okay. As an empath, I have to say this over and over and over again because we think we're wired to save the world. And at the end of the day, we end up just hurting ourselves. We fail. We literally are going down the drain. There's nothing left to you. That I do not want for you. And I don't want it for myself, which is why I've set so many boundaries. So, no eye contact. Focus on why you're where you are. If you're in public, do your thing, smile. You don't have to be a rude person. You don't have to be all bitchy, but keep in your bubble. Keep your energy to yourself unless it's necessary to say, hello, how are you today? The greeter or whatever. I'm very selective with who carries energy because when I'm going to give it to you, it's from my whole heart. And I want to make sure there's enough left at the end of the day for me, for those that really matter, and for those, that are in my very tiny inner circle. They get all of me. And if I'm giving it to strangers all day, they're going to get a drop. That's it. If that, crumbs. Nothing left for you. Sorry. Have a nice day. And that's not what I want. Okay. So let's go into the fourth type of empath, and that is a plant empath. Did you know that? The top three that I just talked about are the most common, and we're going to get into a few others you might not have heard of yet. Now, the plant empath loves plants and kind of intuitively can tell what their needs are. Like, oh, this plant's really hungry, needs more fertilizer, water, whatever. And these type of people have like an all-consuming passion for gardening and love to be surrounded by houseplants. And yes, there's a plant empath. There are plant empaths or plant moms, and will wilt along with their flowers, and these type of people make great friends. They're very compassionate to everyone, but they're very nurturing, especially to plants. Now, if that is you, why are you not working in a nursery or having your own gardening? If you see a natural pull to nature, I have a natural pull to nature, but I really don't know anything about plants. And since I've moved to Las Vegas, I've killed more than I can count. So we have a few plastic plants safely in our home so we can have some greenery, pretend or not, even in my yard. So if this is you, and it sounds like my brother too, I can't help it. I'm just picking on him today. He used to work in a nursery and he loves it. He names all the plants. He knows what they are. He'll look it up. He's got to find out. He's very intuitive to what a plant needs. So why, think about it. Farmers have to know this, whether they're a plant empath or not, but they have a natural pull towards farming maybe, or understanding the crops, or you see nursery owners and those that have big gardens and beautiful flower beds, and they could spend all day with their roses trimming them back and plucking, the dead leaves away and so on. This is because you're a plant empath. You have a natural pull, and that is your coping mechanism. You have a natural pull towards that. The worst thing you could do to yourself if you're a plant empath is live where you don't even have a yard, number one, or room for plants, 2, in the city, which you're living in the concrete jungle. So you're going to feel wilted all the time because you're not around your plants. You're not around greenery. You're not around the beautiful nature God created. Your soul is going to feel empty if you are living in, the middle of New York, Chicago, wherever, big cities, metropolitan type of cities. You're going to feel yucky. You need to get out. Walk around in a jungle. And if that is your world and there's not a lot you can do about it right now, how can you do something about it? Even going through the plant section at Home Depot might help you. Even in the wintertime, you think about the stagnant growth of nature during winter, no matter where you live. Where can I go? Do you have a conservatory like we have here at the Bellagio in Las Vegas? I love walking in there, just the smell of flowers. Maybe this is why I buy myself a lot of flowers. Maybe I do have a touch of it, but I definitely don't have the plant gene or the green thumb, so to speak. So if this is you, where can you get more time with plants? Some people may joke, oh, those people are tree huggers over there. They only buy 100% cotton clothing. It's all organic. Maybe that's where their heart feels best. Maybe hanging out in the grass. My dad loves the woods. Of course, he likes hunting, and that's where deer live. So, there's that. But overall, maybe that's why he likes to hang out in the woods, even since his accident, that he had in the woods. Most of my listeners have known or heard about that. That happened a while back where he had a near-death experience in the woods. We thought for sure Dad would never go back out there. Nothing stops him from being in the woods. He still is out there walking around on what he calls buck patrol, looking for any signs of deer prior to hunting season. So if that's you, you're normal, okay? I don't know how else to say it. That's you, because that's who you are. You're unique, beautiful, and you're created by God. God doesn't make mistakes. So let's see which one we're on. I think number 5. 5, empath. 5. Yep, because we got 2 more after this. Are you an animal empath? Yay! I know so many animal empaths. I love you guys. Of course you are. Think about it. An animal empath is very connected to all animals and can intuitively sense the needs of a pet. So, if you want to identify an animal empath, they may have a house filled with animals and be involved in rescuing dogs and cats. This is my sister's sister-in-law, 100%. In fact, I know so many. A lot of the time, you're rescuing animals, and there is a small portion there too. Perhaps when rescuing these animals, there is some past trauma and hurt there for these people. So not everybody's an animal empath. I just want to put this disclaimer in there. Sometimes they're trying to rescue their inner child from trauma, and saving an animal is just easier, like than healing themselves. Or maybe they don't know they need to heal themselves. So I have to put this little clause in there. But if you're an animal empath, you understand the moods of animals, you can communicate with them. Generally, these type of people are vegan. They don't wear leather. They don't want to wear any animal products. They'll feel deep sadness when animals are mistreated. Of course, animals, on the other hand, are also attracted to animal empaths. They sense their compassion and sensitivity. I am not an animal empath. I do love me some dogs and kitties, and they do visit me quite a bit. There's a neighborhood cat that loves to hang out in my backyard, but I think it's more related to the hummingbirds. Anyway, I do attract that when I'm hiking. All the dogs want to come up to me for some reason, but maybe they can sense that I like dogs, but I cannot personally relate to the animal empath. I know many that have beautiful dogs, beautiful animals. They just have this natural gift, so to speak, of how to intuitively take care of a doggy or kitties. Or they have all the animals. They have a few birds and they have a snake, like they've got it all the reptiles too. You might be an animal empath. And my sister friend, it's normal. It's the thing. Did you know? Maybe you're that animal empath that's like, I think I'm an empath, like what Carrie's been saying, but I can't relate to some of the stuff she's telling me. But I love my doggies, or I love my kitties, or I have 14 birds. I know so many beautiful souls that fall into this category. And I want you to just own it, sister friend. Just own it. Now, if this is you and you're an animal empath and you can't, for some reason, maybe have pets where you live, that is not going to help you. It's going to make it worse. Or you travel a lot and can't have a pet because who's going to take care of it? You are the type that needs an animal. You're going to need a pet. And I don't think just fish in an aquarium is going to cut it for you. Your coping mechanism is to exude this gift by having pets. You don't need 12 cats, but unless you want them, you can, no judgment, but you are going to need that outlet. It's your puppy or your kitty or hamster, whatever it is that you choose. Feed the birds. I have hummingbirds in the backyard. I have a feeder. That's it. Like I can't quite relate to the animal connectivity And I always, we've all like kind of looked at the cat lady as, oh, okay, that's interesting. Why do you have so many cats? It's a joke. It's just a joke. Again, not judgment. But there's such a thing. There's some people that just have a gift. If you can't have animals, work at the pet store. Work somehow in rescuing animals. Maybe you are, want to take on some type of animal rights activism. This is going to feed your soul. Do it. Even though people might look at you like you're crazy, do it by all means. No judgment, sister friend, at all. This is your gift, God-given gift. So number 6 empath is the earth empath. Now, when I first read this, I was like, an earth empath? Good Lord, I got lots of earth around me here in Vegas, rocks, stubble, all of the dirt, you name it. But it's more of earth empaths embrace Mother Nature and are often affected by the weather, especially when there's a natural disaster or geomantics, I think is what it's called. These types of empaths may often feel the collective energy of a location or city. And as for an earth empath, they may be out rallying for protection for the environment, save God's green earth, or save Mother Earth, save this. They're all in the green activism. And they're just, want to return God's green earth back to its earth, of plants and stones and water and so on. And they may even decorate their home that way with the earth tones and the plants. So who do you know that's really into Mother Nature, really into saving the environment? They recycle everything. Everything. Maybe you know someone like this. Maybe this is you. I highly recommend embracing that. Getting as much time in nature is going to be your coping mechanism. If this is you, if you're an earth empath, and again, you're working under fluorescent lights all day long, never seeing the blue sky, it's going to bother you. It's going to wear and tear at your soul. You're going to need to get in nature as often as possible. Maybe you can even choose a profession that has you in nature more, as a, I don't know, park ranger comes to mind. Lifeguard outside in the, in the water, on the beach, needing to be around all of that energy. You're not the type that's going to be happy locked away without windows somewhere. Here in Vegas, it would be torture for you to work in a casino. There's no windows. There's some doors. If you're lucky, you can find them. They like to keep you lost in there playing slot machines. But if this is you as an earth empath, you will need all that time in nature, or at least working in something that makes you feel powerful. Like, again, activism, getting really involved in protecting the planet some way, somehow, whether it's through, natural sources, resources, solar, whatever that looks like. Again, I'm very, very, I should say green. I'm kind of green in this area. I'm actually not green at all. That's the problem. So I don't really relate as closely to an earth empath. I do love time in nature. It makes my heart so happy. It's a cleanse for me. They say even walking around barefoot in grass is powerful for us. It helps ground us just to feel connected. So I can relate in that space. I love natural beauty way more than the man-made beauty of Las Vegas. We've got lots of that. Fake fountains and everything, all kinds of water and lights. And again, the conservatory at the Bellagio comes to mind, which is beautiful, but it's man-made, Somebody put those flowers there. They did not grow there. So where can you get into earth more? Where can you find yourself more grounded and so on? That is a big one for you. And this last 7th type of empath is where I was going to stop, but because it's kind of out there, but I kind of can relate to it a little bit. It's called a Hyoka empath, spelled Heyyoka. Hyoka. I might not be saying it correctly. Forgive me. This is a fascinating type of empath, and it's also like the rarest. That's why I was going to stop here. And you can keep digging. Again, they've come up with maybe 14 or more out there. Some of them, again, feel like they're splicing hairs because it's all very, very similar, or maybe just a different type or a different description. But the Hyoka empath is, I'm just going to read it for you and you can decipher for yourself. This one's a little woo-woo to me, but it has a Native American background, and that could be why I'm feeling some pushback just with my own beliefs. Hyoka means spiritual fool or sacred clown in the Native American dialect. In the Native American dialect of Dakota and Lakota, which is, I guess, a type of dialect or language for them. These empaths are also the most powerful as their empathic gift enables them to assist in improving others. The Hyoka, when with someone who needs assistance in their spiritual growth, will actually mirror the other person. This mirroring helps people to see themselves truthfully and spurs them to question their values. So, this is where I can relate a little bit. Okay. Mirroring people as a coach. Working with people in personal growth and empowerment and so on, just getting through their stuff. I know many healers that do this. It's more like, and some psychiatrists, therapists, whatever, psychologists, all of them, all the psych words, they will mirror you at times. It could be a gift. It could be just a training that they've gone through where they will show you what you're in right now. And I can tap into this at times too. I'll notice in a relationship or I'll mirror back what someone's telling me. So what you're saying is this. And I'll even go as dark, deep hole of their feelings too. So what you're telling me is you're feeling afraid that this, and this is going to happen, and it's paralyzing you. As a mother, I've done this a lot with my daughter. And maybe this is you too. Maybe you feel led. And I, again, know many entrepreneur type empaths out there that are making a living in the healing industry. That's their thing. They feel the need to connect in a group circle with women. They do a lot of that. Again, it leans more towards the new age vibe than I am willing to go. And this is their thing. They feel like it's their job to be this person to help assist others with their spiritual growth. And I highly recommend, if this is you and you're hearing this today, why do I always want to help people, Carrie? Why do I always want to dive right in? Why do I want to hold their hand as they go through stuff? You must have this soulful need to help others with their spiritual growth. Now, again, I lean a little bit in my dad's direction because he's a true evangelist. My father will talk to anyone as long as he gets to talk about Jesus. He looks for opportunities to connect even with someone at a cashier at the grocery store, gas station, the waitress waiting on him. He likes to just get in something somewhere. Shoot, he's even done it at McDonald's, just sitting there having a sandwich by himself. That's my dad. He's wired to be an evangelist. That's his gift. I know I don't understand it because I'm the opposite. I don't want to talk to people when I'm outside in public. I'm avoiding them. I don't even want to talk to the lady that just came up to me to see if I need help in this, department, in the shoe department. I am very introverted at times. Socially selective is my choice of words. You can take it if you want to adapt to that term as well. You can own it. But overall, my dad is the opposite. And I would get embarrassed, like, Dad, oh my God, really? Why? How embarrassing. He's now talking to the waitress about God. And next thing you know, he's giving her some information. And you're like, can we just get our food and leave, please? But that's Dad's gift. And maybe you know someone like this, or you are as well, and you feel like you need to help people with their spiritual growth and journey. Own it. It's your gift. I see God up there just, as each one's born, just blessing each newborn baby with gifts. This one gets to have this one gets to have that. Just grow with it. Enjoy it. What gift can you give back? Because gifts are meant to be given, right? Not hoarded. Give them away. God gave you something special. How can you use it for good, of course, even for business. It can be used in so many different ways. So, just a couple more coping mechanisms that I want to give you. And I kind of talked to you a little bit about crowds and how they overwhelm me and what I do. And if the crowd's large, and I've noticed it depends on the crowd itself. If it's church, it's a big crowd. I go to a church, it's, over 2,000 people can be in the stadium at one time, and there's multiple services. So it's one of those churches. Some of us call them mega church or whatever. I don't have any problems there because the energy is different. The energy is we're all here to meet with Jesus. We're here to feel the Holy Spirit for the day and walk with Christ and start our week on the right path. It's not that so much, but if the crowd's going to be, it's a concert, a rock concert, a secular music concert, I'm not going to be able to control who's around me. There's going to be probably lots of drinking, people getting high. How can I control my little self in this energy for the next 2 hours or whatever that looks like? I pray, number one, and I used to do this subconsciously all the time before I even knew I was an empath. I would say, God be with me. God be with all around me. God be with me. God be all around me. God be with me. God be all around me. And I would feel this bubble of the Holy Spirit just protecting me, protecting my energy, protecting me. Again, don't take on anything. You don't need to make friends with everybody around you, especially if they feel like they're little out there. No need to make eye contact unless it's, hey, good times. Yep. High five. At a hockey game, I like to high five the people around me. Maybe. Depends on the people around me. If you got cool people in your section or not. But same with church, I don't have to talk to everybody. So again, protect that bubble that you're in, that Holy Spirit bubble. Pray before you enter the building, whatever that looks like. Quick Holy Spirit prayer. And just kind of tune out the negative energy around you. I also, just kind of find myself in a situation where our phones are attached to us like crazy. Are they not? They're all around us. Always looking at the phone. Always. It's my natural default to hit those apps, those social media apps. Especially like yesterday, I was sitting in the dentist office. Oh my gosh, I'm bored. What do I do, while I'm waiting? And I've learned as I'm scrolling, negative people, negative news, negative social media. I don't watch the news ever. Number one, never, ever, 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 ever. Not local news, not mainstream media. Never, ever, ever, ever watch the news. There's no reason for me to know all the negative stuff out there. Is it something I can take care of right now? Is it something I have control over? No. So then why am I taking it on? I want you, my sister friend, to only take on what you can personally control. And how can you control that negativity? One, don't turn on the news. You can control it on or off. Even if it's in the background, someone else is watching it. You can tune it out. You don't have to be there. If it's on in the waiting room, tune it out. Wherever you're at, airport, wherever. You can choose to not look, turn away, focus on something else. You control your mind. You have to. If you feel like you can't, you've got to learn to. In social media, you can unfollow, you can mute, snooze, anything that irritates you, feels just challenging, a lot of negativity, maybe of that one person that's very negative. Unfollow them, mute you can snooze for 30 days, their posts on Facebook. You can unfollow them anywhere. It's not personal. I don't follow very many people on Instagram at all. I only follow a lot of Christian, a few celebrities, my favorite podcasters, my favorite other Christian mentors, people that are in the industry that I am of women empowerment, personal growth, and learning confidence and so on, and self-confidence. That's it. I just want to see good stuff. Happy images of my hometown. I want to see pretty nature. I want to see travel things that make my heart sing. You can control this. If you feel like you can't, again, Facebook's a much larger platform. I've unfriended many, 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 many people. I think I went from 5,000 to 1,000. You still see stuff. Again, you can choose to pause, start to read whatever, and then scroll up. Keep scrolling up. It's not mine. It's not mine. This is not mine to carry. I can't do anything about that today. I can't solve the fire in California right now, not that that's even going on right now, but you know what I mean? I cannot change the world, the tsunami that hit, whatever. I can't, unless I can physically do something about it. I'm going to get on a plane and take care of it or go volunteer. It is not mine to carry. And because social media is so global and we have access to news all around the world at our fingertips, we're taking on so much more than we ever used to. Our ancestors didn't have this problem until the radio was invented, like, oh, we're going to get a telegram today from someone on the other side of the world. That's it. You don't have to take it on. It's not meant for you, my friend. I like to joke and say, I always say, not my circus, not my monkeys, not my circus, not my monkeys. That's my joking phrase. And a lot of my friends have adapted to that one too. I have to remind my dear daughter, don't take it on. Don't take it on. She works in retail. She's in the public eye all day long dealing with, she's in management now. So she's dealing with her employees beneath her and what their problems that they bring to the table that day, and walk in with a bad mood. And then you've got a customer that's not so pleasant to be around, and don't take it on. Not my circus, not my monkeys. This is not mine to carry. I hear you. I see you, but I'm not going to take it on today because it's not mine. And you have to dismiss it. Again, I'm going to remind you, this isn't because you don't care. It's because you care so much. You almost care too much, and you'll go down the drain with them if you try to take it on. It's not that we're fragile, weak. In fact, we're very strong. In fact, we have superpowers, right? Holy Spirit superpowers. It's about survival. And I want you, to understand that you're not crazy. This isn't just a woo-woo thing. This is just how I'm wired. I'm more sensitive. My antenna to life and my surroundings is more stronger than the average person. So what you take on is like 1,000% more than the average person, and it's going to affect you more. So only take what's yours. If your daughter is like mine this morning, it was raining and gosh, felt like a flood was going to happen in any minute. It's been raining so much here in Vegas this morning. And I noticed it was more like a slush snow coming down. So I wanted her to message me when she got to work this morning. Yes, I'm feeling my baby girl. She's going on 19 this month, but I feel her. She's my responsibility. If she needs mom, I'm here. I'm waiting for that text that she got to work safely. That's mine to carry. Everybody else that drove to work this morning is not mine. I don't need to know what the traffic situation looks like on the news. I'm not leaving the house yet. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm hoping to just kind of paint some real life pictures here so that you can realize, Carrie, I don't want to be cold. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be uncaring or come across that I don't care. When deep down I really do. And that's just it. Is sisters, empath sisters especially, yeah, you do care. You do care more than most. But I'm giving you permission to only take on what's yours today and leave the rest. Go take a bubble bath. Go do something fun. Go do something. Pick through your little list and go, where does my soul feel the brightest, the happiest, the fullest? And go do that today. And I hope you've learned a lot from just these 7 little categories of being an empath and where you might land and how you can have a yummy filled life, because that's all I want for you. Big hugs, big love. Take care, sister friend. Hi there, friend. If you enjoyed this episode, do me a favor and double check that you're subscribed or following. And if you've got a quick 30 seconds, it would mean the world to me if you could leave me a 5-star review and share what you specifically liked about this episode.